Hey everybody, I wanted to touch base a little bit more on the video the other day. Breaking shit, fixing shit. Probably touch a little bit on the duck too, but my granddad said there's two kinds of people in this world. The people that break shit. It ain't just about physically breaking something. If you break something, you take one piece and break it in two. If you fix something, you take two pieces, make them one. As we go about our lives, we have the ability to unite or divide. Addition, subtraction. It's simple math when you break it down. I'm a firm believer in the KISS method, as most country folk are. KISS method is keep it simple, stupid. And when you look at things from adding and subtracting, breaking shit, fixing shit, it makes decisions real easy. This world loves to divide us, whether it be academically, religion, political. Pick your poison. You can't watch 5 minutes of mass media without finding something that will encourage you to pick a side. To choose a label. I actually made this video yesterday and ran into some interesting technical difficulties we'll get into later, but I shared a story that it was hard for me to share then, and even harder for me to share now, since I've already done it once. But when I grew up, I didn't really understand racism, sexuality, things like that. I saw people as people. I had friends, But as I grew older, I started, I don't know, I guess learning. If you can call it learning. Learning should be a positive thing. But I began learning how life supposedly worked. I wanted to fit in, wanted to be cool, wanted to be tough. When I was in my early years of high school, I worked in a theater, doing musicals, plays. I worked backstage, doing set changes, ran the lights, and occasionally would sit in the orchestra pit with the band. This would have been early 90s. I graduated high school in 95. But the theater attracts people that I didn't really see a lot of at that age, if you get my drift. One of my best friends at the theater, Dwayne, wasn't Dwayne, he wasn't Dwayne, he was Dwayne. At a time when homosexuality was not accepted here. He was loud and proud. He's probably one of the sweetest men I've ever known in every sense of the word. And don't take that any kind of way. He was an amazing human being. Is an amazing human being, I hope. But we had a really, really, really good friendship. And as I got older, started hanging around with a certain type of crowd, started making a name for myself, getting a little bit of a reputation. Fast forward a couple of years, me and some friends are out at the I'm walking around in my Carl Kanai with my gold chain, that fade kicking, lines cutting my head. We're at the mall just doing what teenage kids did. We walk past the hair salon. Guess who's in there cutting hair? Dwayne. I hadn't seen him at least a year. I saw him and I wanted to say hello. I wanted to go in. But then I remembered I had this reputation. I had this label. What are my buddies going to think if I go in there and say hello to a gay man? Instead of going in and saying, hey, I hung my head, tried to walk by and noticed. Didn't work. Dwayne spotted me almost immediately. He was cutting somebody's hair. Stopped without question. Sprinted out of that store. Ran up to me and gave me the biggest hug. I panicked. The biggest, maybe not the biggest, but one of the biggest regrets of my life. I began to get scared of what my buddies would think. I got worried about my label, my reputation. I had to choose a side. And I chose. God damn me, I chose. When Dwayne was done hugging me, he had his hands on my shoulders and just took a minute to take me in. With the biggest smile on his face, he said, I haven't seen you in so long. And I looked at him just as straight-faced as I could. Do I know you? I destroyed him. Destroyed him. I haven't seen him since. part of me hopes that in some weird twist of fate he comes across this video. If he doesn't remember me, he'll remember that moment. Choosing sides is not a good thing. Even if I hadn't done that, the minute I choose sides, then the world's gonna address me a certain way. As humans, we love labels. And I don't get it. I don't. I could go on for hours. I wanted to get that out there. But we all have our own beliefs. We have our own habits, our own ways of life. But if we're going to change this world, we got to realize it ain't our world. My world. It's not yours. I just said it ain't our world. What I'm trying to say is it is our world. It's mine and yours. You want to live here. You want to be happy. Just like I do. The fact that we live different lives doesn't change that fact. Probably seen it creeping out, but got a little angel looking over my shoulder here for a very good reason. Because the point of this video, there are no sides. Under this great big old blue sky, there's one family. And if you don't believe me, maybe my friend here can help explain it. Because when we get to the end, there's only two sides. Alive or dead. Take a look around. This is the other side. And you don't have to choose it. One day it's going to be chosen for you. It's going to be chosen for us all. And the wild thing is, labels don't apply here. There's only one label required to gain entrance. And that's human being. But when you get here, and I encourage you, come out to a graveyard once in a while. Look around. The only label that applies when you get here is loving mother, father, son, daughter. Because I don't know about you, but I can't figure out if George and Louisa, were they Republican, Democrat, Christian, Baptist, Mormon, Could have been Muslim. Could have been Jewish. Could have been anything. One day we're all going to be subtracted from this earth. The only question is, what did we do while we were here? Did we add? Did we subtract? Did we break shit? Did we fix shit? One other little story I want to share. Because what I'm talking about in these videos hangs on one thing and one thing only, and that's perspective. I have died 3 times. I should be laying right here with all these people. But I'm not. The first time I died was on a kayaking trip. Flipped my boat, and thankfully my friends knew CPR and they brought me back. Second time I died was a car wreck. I woke up 2 weeks later, not remembering a thing. The third time though, they say the third time's a charm. In April, I had 2 heart attacks. I didn't know what was going on. Nothing made me even suspect a heart attack. I felt sick. Felt like I had a really, really weird case of the flu. But after a while, I just got confused about everything. Even walking up and down stairs, it was like I had to think about what I was doing. Something was off. So I did what I'd never do. I called 911. And I didn't even know what to tell the lady. I just said, something's off. I don't feel right. I'm starting to get dizzy. Please send help. I started making my way through the house and started getting even dizzier. So I told the lady I'm going to make my way out to the driveway. So when they get here, I will be laying in the driveway. I didn't want them to have to, I didn't want to wait for them to get into the house, track me down. So I'm laying in my driveway with my phone laying beside me. And my only contact, some stranger that I've never talked to, never met. And I'm starting to understand that this is it. Work didn't matter. If I'm honest, friends didn't matter. I don't have family. And I don't mean this to sound as bad as it's going to, but I don't know that family would have mattered if I did. When you're laying there alone, looking this square in the face, the only thing that matters is that next breath. This new concept for the channel is called Smoke and Mirrors. This is what it's all about right here. This is the hardest mirror to look in. There's an old saying, begin with the end in mind. And if we truly, alright, y'all are gonna have to forgive me, because those of you that know me know I'm a consummate smartass, and yes, I'll make jokes in the graveyard. My tombstone will be a joke. I'm not gonna say it here because it would require spilling my last name, but check this tombstone out. Helen Not Sloan, wife of J.H. Sloan. Was she Sloan or wasn't she? Oh shit, I'm sorry. But I hope she or her husband appreciates that, and I know I would have. But when you begin with the end in mind, it makes choices a lot easier too. But going back to Helen Not Sloan, and going back to my old man that taught me how to carve a duck. The biggest thing we got to keep in mind is we will never, ever, ever know how many lives we've impacted, good or bad. We will never, ever, ever know the effect we will have on people. Now, I don't know if Helen had a sense of humor, if it was her husband, or if it was her parents. But Helen just made me laugh. Shit, I'm gonna go back and look. Died August 18 of 1949. She's still affecting people, folks. She made me laugh. The old guy that taught me how to carve a duck, hell, he probably died 10 years after that. And he's changing my life to this day. But he's doing that because he chose to fix shit. So when you're laying down, looking the Reaper in the face, you want to know you had a good effect on people. And you want another opportunity to continue. And I don't know, maybe the phrase rest in peace comes from one simple thing. That death is what it takes for us to finally stop fucking choosing sides. Because here, everyone's united. Love y'all.